While he might not be MVP this season, Nikola Jokic is still the best player in this league. And this recent 10-game win streak has shown exactly why. This last night, the Nuggets took on the Grizzlies and they won 136 to 119. But honestly, the score doesn't tell you exactly how this game played out. Memphis led at halftime. They were shooting very well, especially from three. They hit 13 threes in the first half. They had their rhythm, and for a moment, it felt like it could be competitive. But then the third quarter hits, Denver goes on a huge run and flips the entire game in just a few minutes. They close the third on a 31-13 run. Nice yin yang score right there. And that's where the game was decided. This game was controlled by one stretch. When once Denver flipped it, it was over. And we have to be fair, the Memphis Grizzlies are not at full strength, and they're not necessarily trying to play winning basketball right now, but they had some nice competition in the first half. But they're missing lots of key guys, not a full rotation, and this was not the toughest competition that Denver is going to face in the near future. But context matters. What Denver did still matters too, because even against a weaker team, this win can still tell you lots of things about them. Because this wasn't about Memphis collapsing, it was more about Denver taking advantage once Memphis's shooting had calmed down and the game had normalized more. The shooting had cooled off. Memphis wasn't hitting threes at the rate that they were in the first half, and the gap in execution had shown immediately in the third quarter. Nuggets shot nearly 59% from the field, over 66% effective field goal percentage, and had over 30 assists in this game. It's not just scoring, it's elite offensive execution on games where they are winning, and they are winning a lot recently. The most telling part to me for this game is that Jokic had a triple-double, but did not score very much. He had 14 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists, and completely controlled the game throughout. He had more rebounds and assists than he did shot attempts, which tells you how the offense can run through him, but Jokic doesn't have to force things on nights like this. That tells you everything about how this team is playing right now. Zooming out, they have won 10 straight games now. They are a game and a half above Lakers in third place, and they have 2 games to go. Sure looks like with the Lakers situation, they are going to secure that third seed in the West, and they could very well be on a 12-game win streak before the postseason begins, and they are just on the upward trajectory at the perfect time for them. And the biggest thing isn't just the win streak, it is the elite offensive execution every single night. During this 10-game win streak, they had games of scoring 120, 130, even 140 points consistently, and they are doing it with very efficient numbers. So they are the number one offense in the league, and they are doing it with controlled offense and not with chaos. And the biggest thing that stands out to me isn't just the streak, it's how they are executing this elite offense down the stretch every single night. They are scoring during the streak 120, 130, even 140 plus points every single time, and they're doing it with elite, efficient, controlled offense. Number one offense in the league, and it is not chaotic when you're watching it. It is a very systematic, controlled offense. They're not just relying on one guy to go off. It's about ball movement, shot quality, consistency, and every possession on this team feels intentional. In their last 10, they're averaging 130.6 points per game. Their offensive rating is at 128, just about, and their true shooting percentage is just over 64%. Top tier offense over this stretch of 10 games. And this is working because of three different things. First is shot quality. They're shooting over 52% from the field in this stretch of 10 games, over 40% from three. Everything is looking efficient. Second would be ball movement. In this stretch, they're averaging over 33 assists per game, and nearly 70% of their shots are assisted during this same time. This is one of the most connected offenses in the league, if not the most connected offense in the league. And third is their possession control. They're rebounding better, they're turning it over less, and they are getting more shots. All these things are just kind of coming together for them at the right part of the season. So in the last 10 games, mentioned 52% from the field, 41.5% from three, over 33 assists, and turnovers down, rebounds are up on offense and defense. And obviously, this is not a defensive run. It's an offensive run, and defense is where they can improve. They're not locking teams down, but they are winning by overwhelming teams offensively. And as I mentioned, it's not just Jokic. You have multiple people contributing, and it looks the same whether you have starters or the bench out there. Players like Jamal Murray have been great over this stretch. In the last 10 games, has nearly averaged 28 points per game, 50% from three, and is still making the right plays. The secondary option, but certainly looks like the co-star that we know Jamal Murray can be next to Nikola Jokic. Aaron Gordon, what a great surprise from him. This is where his fit really shows up on this team, and who could have really expected that, maybe looking a few years back. Aaron Gordon is about 50% from the field in this stretch, but the key is how he's getting those shots, because over 80% of his baskets are assisted, so he's not just creating offense, he's finishing it. He's only turning the ball over about once per game, but giving the team 3 to 4 assists per game, so he's a connector, he's not a scorer, not a star, but someone who keeps the offense flowing. And what a great connection piece he's been for the Denver Nuggets. Certainly a fan favorite there. Not there to dominate, certainly just there to complete the offense. And then you have players like Cameron Johnson, Brown, Hardaway, all playing within that connected system. Not a real drop-off when you see their bench unit come on the floor and play different rotations. So not only is it a hot streak, it's happening at the end of the season at the perfect time. I think they have enough offensive firepower to match up with any team in the league, but they still might struggle against that one top team in the West. And of course, that is the Oklahoma City Thunder. They have won 19 of their last 20 games, and the Denver Nuggets are 0-3 against them. Their last matchup was on March 9th. So if I am a Denver Nuggets fan, I'm telling myself this is an improved Nuggets team that might match up against the Thunder at some point. And again, I think the Nuggets have enough offensive firepower to go against that team, but still would give the edge to the Thunder pretty much against any team overall until they're beaten, until the defending champs are beaten. But as we mentioned, Denver plays a great offensive system and, in my opinion, has the best superstar to lead that system. They do not play fast, chaotic basketball. They control their game, and they control their game in the half court very well. And that's something that we'll look towards more in the postseason because they won't always be scoring these 130 points, 140 point games in the postseason, but they certainly do look good controlling their offense in the half court. Jokic during the stretch and when he's been on the floor this season has been great. In the last 10 games, he's averaged over 25 points, 14 rebounds, and 12 assists. Almost half of Denver's offense runs through Jokic. Not just producing, of course, dictating the game and the offense for his team. And the biggest thing, as we mentioned, is that he doesn't always need to score to dominate. We saw it against an injured, not trying to win Memphis Grizzlies team where he scores 14 points but gets a triple-double, which is 8 triple-doubles in the last 10 games. I mean, come on, how is he not the best player in this league? 8 triple-doubles in the last 10, multiple 15 assist games in this stretch, and he is a plus 10.2 when he's on the floor during this same stretch of 10 games. And hey, we have great defenders in this league. There's been a lot of narratives because of one player in particular about how much defense in both sides of the ball should matter when considering MVP, and that goes along with winning basketball as well. You have dominant players on defense like Wembanyama, who is the most dominant defensive player, I think, by far at this point. You have elite two-way players like the former MVP and most likely this year's MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But Jokic is different, has the most unique offensive game I've ever seen, at least in this modern NBA. And we saw that all on display against San Antonio. Wembanyama had 34, 8, 7 blocks, was dominant on both ends. But when the game got tight, Jokic took over, had 40 points, 13 assists on 0 turnovers, and every big possession ran through him, especially down the clutch at the end of the game. And I think everyone saw the huge, highest arcing shot that he put in over Wembanyama to go into overtime. So I think that was a big moment of the season. It's a big difference. Jokic doesn't just produce, he helps decide those very important games. So the only concern I have with the Nuggets, and it's a very important one, is that this is not a defensive run for them. They're not locking teams down. They are outscoring them and sometimes outscoring them by a lot. And that works in the regular season. We've mentioned that they have a great half-court offense, but they will have to adjust to having less possessions in the postseason. So does their offense hold up with where their defense is at this point? Isn't whether they can score, it will be whether they can get stops. So the Nuggets have won 10 straight. The real story isn't the streak, it's how they're doing it. And this is the most complete version of this team we have seen all season, and that carries them off into the playoffs. Hope you've liked this YouTube only video for today. Please like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things if you made it this far, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day.